Good afternoon, all of you. We are having this global sourcing meet by Malaysian companies. I think all of you are aware Malaysia is a partner country this year at IESS. Would now request Mr. Mahesh Desai, the Senior Vice Chairman of EEPC, to come on to dais along with Mr. Binod Sarda, the Working Committee member, Mr. Mazario of EXIM Bank of Malaysia, Mr. Hasbullah of Delloyd, and Mr. Sun Kian Yoon from Betamek. I think all of you know that India and Malaysia's relations goes back to a few centuries. The trade relations between India and Malaysia are always good. It's one of the topmost ASEAN region with which India has got very good trading relations, apart from the countries such as Singapore, Thailand and thus. So the whole idea of this global sourcing meet is to kind of look if there can be partnerships that can be forged between Malaysian companies and Indian companies. That's the whole idea of this particular meet. And with this, I would now request Mr. Mahesh Desai, the Senior Vice Chairman, to give his formal welcome address.
Dignitary on the dais, dignitary of the dais, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Very good afternoon to you all. It's indeed a great pleasure for me to extend a hearty welcome to everyone present in this Malaysia Partner Country Forum, with special mention to dignitaries of MARAI, Malaysian Automotive Robotics and IoT Institute, Malaysia, for their cooperation to make this happen. Hearty welcome to all other distinguished personalities present here for their constant support and presence for IESS 9. This is our 9th edition of International Engineering Sourcing Show, and Malaysia being the partner country, thank you ma'am, for IESS for the second time. We have reached the second day of our ongoing IESS, and our first day was quite successful in terms of overwhelming response from the participants. We had a wonderful B2B meeting yesterday, and I was told by my secretariat even today we are having a great B2B meeting and interaction from businessman to businessman. In this, we aim to strengthen the trade relations between the two countries by throwing light on the opportunities for cooperation between companies from both the countries in many fields, including heavy engineering, automotive, electrical engineering and power engineering, among others, not to miss the sunrise industries which is taking shape in both sides of the Bay of Bengal. India is an important trading partner for Malaysia, and both the countries need to work closely in order to deepen bilateral trade relations. Bilateral trade between India and Malaysia encompasses a diverse range of products and cuts across sectors. Total bilateral trade in goods, which was United States dollar 14.71 billion in 1718, has increased to 17.24 billion in 1819. The bilateral engineering trade performance of the two countries has strengthened to United States dollar 4.5 billion in 1819, marking an increase of almost 17% from $3.9 million. In terms of investment, Malaysia ranks as the 25th largest investor in India with FDI inflow of US dollar 906 million during the period April 2000 to June 2018. Indian companies have also invested in 242 manufacturing projects, I am not counting the infrastructure projects, of over US dollar 2.62 billion in Malaysia. Economic ties received a fillip with the two countries signing the comprehensive economic cooperation agreement covering goods, services and investment, which came into effect from 1st July 2011. Under CECA, which contains 16 chapters and 15 annexures, you can see the scope of the agreement. The two sides have offered ASEAN Plus commitments in trade and in services and exchange WTO Plus offers. Presently, there are about 87 Malaysian companies, including joint ventures companies, operating in India, and more than 150 Indian companies, including 61 Indian joint ventures and 3 Indian public sector undertakings are operating in Malaysia. The current momentum and performance between the two countries looks very promising and need continued efforts in this direction. The best part of it, we have a people to people, company to company chemistry working in very good direction, and this chemistry we have to utilize for have more deep and more meaningful cooperation between the two countries, not only countries but at the people to people and company to company. I would also request our MSME from India and also MSME and academia and others to come to India and have more meaningful dialogue with our government as well as the industrialists and entrepreneurs. I just want to, are there some bankers from Malaysia here? Any bankers? Huh? EXIM? No, Malaysian Bank. Okay. We invite Malaysian banks to come to India. They will help us to understand our business culture, and also the bankers are the best friend of the entrepreneurs. I hope I am right. And similarly, I understand there are some Indian banks which are already operating in Malaysia. So not only bankers, yesterday we signed 3 MOU, you have seen it, with academia in the IoT, in artificial intelligence and other things, smart manufacturing. This is the thing where we can take forward, and this is the direction we both can travel together, and I am sure both countries have enough talent of young people who can take us to a greater height. Looking ahead, I am confident that the economic partnership between India and Malaysia will continue to grow leaps and bounds. To achieve this, our business must continue to work together to promote deeper and stronger ties. We should seek to enhance the business environment which will encourage and facilitate bilateral trade. On this note, I would like to wish everyone a fruitful and successful session today and look forward to an enriching discussion and productive outcomes for both Indian and Malaysian business. Long live our friendship.
Thank you, sir. Now we will hand over the session to the team from Malaysia. The first presentation would be from Delloyd and then followed by Betamek. Both of these are into manufacturing sector, auto components, electronics, and besides others. They are looking at having some kind of partnership with like-minded Indian companies, and hope they get some good partners in this room here. I would now request Mr. Hasbullah bin Abdul Rahman, the General Manager of Delloyd Group, to make his presentation.
Good afternoon. I would like to thank you, Mr. Chairman, and also our kind host from EEPC, and also our partners is Mari from Malaysia, and for inviting us basically to present our companies, so that you guys have what is Delloyd all about. This is our second time to participate in the IESS, part of the 3 years initiative partnership between the Mari and also EEPC, if I'm not mistaken. So, and also this is my first time presenting Delloyd. So what I would do is I will make two separate segments. Number one, I will explain on what is Delloyd. Then the second one is what we could offer to the Indian partners, potential partners. Okay, without further ado, I will start with Delloyd. So Delloyd's a group of companies. Because Delloyd, in Delloyd, we basically we have many subsidiaries in Delloyd. That's why we put as a Delloyd group of companies in Malaysia. Okay, our Delloyd Ventures Sdn Bhd. Delloyd Ventures Sdn Bhd is we established in 1983. It's a long time ago, more than 30 years. So we started when our first national car started in Malaysia, which is Proton. We started the production in '84. Together basically to support our national car. Currently our para capital is about 50 million, and our workers in Malaysia alone is about 1,289 workers, because we have many locations in Malaysia. And we basically we have we present in three countries in Southeast Asia. Of course, Malaysia is being our hubs, our headquarters. This will come from. Then we also have one company in Thailand, Delloyd Teams Thailand. This is a joint venture company between Delloyd and Japanese company, Teams Japan. Then in Indonesia, we have 4 companies in Indonesia. I don't know whether you can see or not because it's partly hidden. Number one is a PT Asian Auto. I will explain about making the bus. PT Murakami Delloyd, we do the door mirror mainly for Toyota. We are OEM suppliers basically in Indonesia. Number 3 is PT Mitsuba. PT Mitsuba basically more on the metal parts, power window, locks and all that. Also for Japanese, mainly for the Japanese OEMs. And lastly is PT JFD Indonesia. This is for actuator and motor, supply for first tier OEM. And in Malaysia, we have many subsidiaries. If you look at it, it's Delloyd Industries, for the basically for the plastic, mechanical parts. We will show you later about what other products are. And we have Delloyd Electronics, Delloyd CNC, and we have some joint venture with our Chinese partners, because as you know that, if some of you know that we have Geely already came into Malaysia. Basically they have JB with Proton national car, set up, carry the Proton brand. Then with that we partners with several Chinese first-tier suppliers with us, and they bring along their technologies. Then we collaborate very well to support the Proton and Geely. And the next one is Ichigo. As you know now, Ichigo is taken over by Valeo. So we also have a joint venture in Malaysia with Ichigo, basically producing a lamp, headlamp, rear combi lamp, and all that. Okay, Delloyd, we are heavily present in Malaysia. I would say is 85% is our business in Malaysia, domestic, and for aftermarket domestic is about 10%. Then we do some export, about 5% from our sales. So these are our major customers. So most the customers that have assembly in Malaysia, manufacturing OEMs, we are their suppliers, because we produce a wide range of products. We'll show you later what kind of products that we producing. So this is the footprint of export market from Malaysia. Okay, we export to United Kingdom. So United Kingdom, basically we export to Lotus. We export lamps to Lotus, and also the door mirrors to Lotus. And Colombia, Ecuador, this is to General Motors. So some assembly part we do export to Colombia, Ecuador, and some in India. So India mainly is spare parts now. And we also work export to our partners like a Browser. Browser is a German company that producing door mirror, door module, power window, and we do some component for them, exported to South Africa. And recently we export also to Vietnam for auto dimming inner mirror to their national car. And in Indonesia, we export mainly the lamps, small lamp to Indonesia, to Honda, Toyota, Suzuki's. And we are first year company in Malaysia. So being the first year, we have to comply all sort of the quality requirements. And you can see, we started in 1990 for COP. From ISO, we are first to basically to implement ISO in our company, probably in Malaysia. Goes along all the way now to 2019. We also have the ISO lab certified. That means our testing is we have certifications that we can also do for third party. So Delloyd R&D. Okay, Delloyd R&D, we have about 43 staff in Delloyd R&D alone, in R&D. So we are quite heavy, because we do from, we do probably the range start from the beginning until the end of development. So if you can see that we do the engineering design, we use mainly on CATIA. Then we use CAE, stress analysis, we use SolidWorks. Then with that also we use mold flow analysis to check our injections. And also, since we also do the lamp, we have also the CAE for lighting. We use lucid shapes. And we have the rapid prototyping SLA, we have a scanner, And since we also do the PCB design, we also have PCB design tools. Okay, this is some of the testings facility that we have for vibrations, vibration machine, salt spray, and all. And working chamber is, we can fit in half car inside the working chamber. And also we have a small one because our part is from a very small part until even the bumper we do. So in Delloyd, basically if you look at here, that we do the injection, metal, painting, assembly. So split into 2 locations in Malaysia. One is in Klang, the other one is in Tanjung Malim. They are about 100 kilometers apart, basically to support our customer in Malaysia. Production facilities, our injection machine. We have about 50 machines. 50 machines from 80 ton until 3,000 ton. And split into 2 locations. And we produce cameras. So the cameras, automotive camera, we design until productions. So this is a part of our clean room. So it's a 1K clean room for camera productions. So all this basically is locally developed and in-house productions. Assembly line, this is part of the assembly line that we want to show you. And paintings, we have 3 paintings. 3 painting locations. One is Tanjung Maling that can paint the big part of bumpers. And we have 2 in Klang. One is a manual painting, the other one is a robotic painting. And since we do the lamps, part of our plastic welding, some of it we use quite heavily on the ultrasonic machines. Some we use glue to do this plastic welding. And this is our principal product, some of principal products. Door mirror, I would say is about 40% of our business is door mirror, 30 to 40%. And we can say that probably in Malaysia, any door mirror local assembly, we can say we are probably 85-90%. Door mirror local assembly in Malaysia is basically by Delloyd. And you see the sun visor, door trim, painted part, rear view mirror. I will go on. The next one, the lamp, column switch. As a lamp, it's like a DRL, daytime running light, fog lamp, side turn signal lamp. This is all is quite small and potential for export. And automotive camera. So we produce a different type of automotive camera, like a reverse camera, parking assist camera, around view monitor camera, and multifunction camera. So we can, because since we design in-house, basically we can customize and also to tweak and to suit the customer requirements. So we make it, because it's quite difficult to have in-house design, develop and produce, because you need quite high skill and also very clean rooms to produce this. And industrial products. So you can see that polybox and the bottom one pellet. So the pellet we can inject up to 17 kilos of pellets. So it's a very heavy 17 kilos. Normally like 3,000 ton can produce up to 8-9 kilos. Then we have the machine, special machine that can produce 17 kilos of products, injections. And this is some of the large product assembly. As you can see, the bumpers, we do design, we do the injection and paint, and also the assembly of power window. And door trims, we supply to several models of door trim to our customers. So obviously operations, I will go very quickly. As I mentioned earlier, we are present in 2 countries, Thailand and Indonesia, because these 2 countries, along with Malaysia, is 3 main countries that focus on automotive. That's why we are present in these 3 countries. In Thailand, Delloyd Teams, our joint venture company, we own 90% of joint venture. You can see the hinge hood, tailgate hinge, door check, mainly to the Japanese OEMs like Honda, Nissan, Mitsubishi. These are 3 main customers for these products. And Indonesia, number 1, we also produce bus. We do assembly bus for the articulated bus, Indonesia. And the joint venture company, Piti Murakami Delloyd, mainly door mirror for Toyota in Indonesia, and some for Datsun, but our main customer is a Toyota. And this is part of the product that we produce, the door mirror, sun visors, and also the wheel cover. And PTJFD basically is a metal part, and you can see the window regulator, arm type, wire type, hood lock. This is, and also we supply this to Nissan and Honda. What we could offer, and here, of course, I write 2, it could be several others. Number 1, we could offer our exported products that we have experience to export some of the product overseas. It's very competitive price because we design and develop locally. Number 2, also we can work seeking the partner who can promote basically our products in India or the countries around India like Sri Lanka and all that. Thirdly, also if we also source some components from overseas, if there are some that really can meet our cost, our quality target, we might consider this because we are quite open in terms of sourcing the product. Quite a lot now that we source from China, from Taiwan, because due to the competitiveness of the products. So for detailed inquiries, you can come to our booth, for further discussion in PC10 H1 Hall A, which is this hall. It's very nearby. It's about only 5 to 10 meters, maybe 5 meters from here. So do come over and have chit chat with us, and we see what we can find. We can talk. At least we can exchange ideas. So again, I think this is all from me. Oops. Some more. This is, I narrowed it down, basically the potential product that we can think of. For example, like the lamp, the small lamp, like Saturn signal lamp, because this lamp we export to Toyota in Indonesia. We do the design to suit the OEM, then we produce this. And high motor stop lamp, if you look at one of these lamp, we export to Lotus Evora, if you know the Lotus Evora. In UK, and they export worldwide, even to China. And reflector, DRL, the running light, this is part of the product that we design, develop, and also produce. And fuel pump, we have our partners for the fuel pump in Malaysia. And currently also we work on the DVR because being the electronics suppliers, so we already do the cameras. Now we also do this DVR. We also working with our partners in Malaysia University to develop the ADAS, Advanced Driver Assistance System, object detection for highway, because we have about 20 personnel other than that I mentioned to you in Delloyd. In Delloyd CNC, we're about 20 plus personnel, and they are mainly on software and hardware that focus on these electronics products. And the bottom one is part of the auto dimming in the mirror we export to VinFast, Vietnam. So this is also part of the product that we think if you're interested, you can come see us, then we can see how we collaborate. Because we design and develop in-house. We don't purchase. And this is some automotive camera for different customers. So I will not discuss in detail of this, but if you're interested, you can come over to our booth and have some further discussion. With that, thank you very much. I hope you understand and feel free to talk to me afterwards. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Hasbullah. India is a huge market in terms of auto sector. I think it's one of the largest consumer of four-wheelers, one of the largest. I will not say the largest, but one of the largest. I come from the city of Bangalore, and I was told, as per the newspaper reports, nothing official about it, they say there are about 5 million vehicles in Bangalore alone. So you can see the market size. So you have huge potential here. I can see a lot of people who are into different sectors sitting here, from forgings to pumps and valves to magnet to a lot of other sectors. There's a guy who does brushes. So you can look at different areas of your interest and try to take it forward. Now I would request Mr. Soon Kian Yoon of Betamek to make his presentation pertaining to his company.
Very good afternoon, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I would like to express my sincere thanks and appreciation to the organizer, EEPC India, and also Mari Malaysia, for giving this valuable opportunity for Betamek Electronics Malaysia to be on stage here today to present and briefly introduce our company in this global sourcing conference. Okay, let me start with sharing Betamek Electronics objective of participating in this exhibition in this IESS. So our objectives, the first objective are to seek any potential buyers from automobile manufacturer, either from OEM or REM. The second objective is to explore or to looking for any possible collaborative joint venture manufacturing. Maybe we can set up over in this India region. And the third objective, we as a manufacturing, electronic manufacturing factory, we also can provide this contract manufacturing services to those customer or those marketeers that they already have their market, but they are at the same time looking for manufacturer as well. So these are the three main objectives of our presence here in this IESS exhibition event. This is our, I think, very straightforward company vision and mission. As electronic manufacturing, we are aimed to become a world-class vendor in automotive, electronics, and infotainment system. And for the company vision, company mission, to achieve success by leveraging the best technology and good manufacturing practices while developing people and corporate culture to achieve quality and cost competitiveness. Okay, let me share our product overview. So this is a series of our existing products that we are producing and supply to Malaysia national automotive OEM. So this is a series of in-car multimedia infotainment system. All these infotainment system come with advanced features such as navigation, GPS, Bluetooth connectivity, USB playability, and as a standard FM, AM receiver. Apart from in-car infotainment multimedia system, We also producing air condition controller for in-car use. So these are some of the product that we are not only producing and supplying locally in Malaysia, we also supply to Indonesia Daihatsu. Okay, the other products that currently we are in this about at the close to our mass production stage is the emergency call and telematics system. And also we are making the integration of infotainment integrated with a smartphone connected. So the connectivity such as this smartphone CarPlay for iPhone, Android Auto for Android phones, and also for Toyota standard smart device link technology that is a smartphone app integrated with this head unit. Okay, this is some of the brief background of Betamek Electronics Malaysia. We were established in year 1989. We are 31 years old. And currently we are operating with 350 numbers of employees. 100% of the employees are from Malaysian locally. And some additional information to be shared here. For our management staff, in average, most of them has been served together with us for more than 20 years. And for general worker and operator level, in average also they have been together with us for more than 10 years. Okay, this is the geographically where we are located. So we Betamek Electronics Malaysia, we are located in Rawang, the state of Selangor, which is about 80 kilometers away from Kuala Lumpur International Airport. It will take approximately 1 hour drive journey. This is our customer information list. Currently, we are supplying to Malaysia National Car, namely Perodua, which is a joint venture Daihatsu Japan Malaysia this national OEM. Our product we are supplying 90% of our total volume we are supplying to Perodua. So in this, out of 90%, it is equivalent to 40% of total passenger car sales in Malaysia. And the second customer list is that we also supplying to our national, another national car, namely Proton, which is a joint venture with Geely China. 5% of our quantity we are supplying to this Proton. Apart from that, we also export overseas to Indonesia Daihatsu SUV vehicle. With 5% of our total volume, we are supplying to export Indonesia. This is some sharing with our export capability. Throughout over the years, our export this business partnership to Indonesia. So we are confident that we are capable to secure with a good quality and on-time delivery to overseas customer. This is another, I think, a very useful or very significant information that I would like to share here. So at present, currently, we have one India technical R&D partner available in India. It's named KPIT Technology. So with this company existent in India, we believe definitely this will very much enable our this accessibility together with this India supply chain connectivity. This is some information also I would like to share, some awards and recognition that we have been received from our valuable customer throughout the years. We have been received numbers of awards and recognition from our customer, especially in the field of best quality, competitive price, and also on-time delivery. The most recent, it was last year, 2019, we were the recipient of overall best quality and cost, price, competitiveness, and on-time delivery performance vendor, which was awarded by our national car Perodua. Okay, this is something about our production capability. So I would like to categorize into a few categories here. So for multimedia infotainment system, at present we are running at a single shift, one shift working hour, meaning from 8 o'clock morning until 6 o'clock in the evening. So our maximum capacity that we can produce is 20,000. At present, our utilization of this capacity is running at 65%, which is about 13,000 units per month. And subsequently to this outer mirror switch, power socket, USB charger, aircon controller. So at the moment, we are running at 70% capacity utilization, meaning that we still have a big room of this capacity utilization. This is one of the objectives of our participation in this IESS event here, try to seek further potential business partnership. This is some introduction for our R&D background. In our R&D design development section, for styling design, we are using Adobe InDesign, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, and also Corel Draw. This is our mechanical design section. The software that we are applying is a CATIA release version 5 and also SolidWorks. It's a very standard software design tools, especially in automotive car maker. This is our electronic PCB circuitry design. We are engaging with a Protel schematic design and also Protel PCB design. Okay. In order for us to provide contract manufacturing services, so this is our manufacturing facility. We are facilitated with a fully ESD electrostatic discharge production floor with a clean room class 10K, which is equivalent to ISO level 7, and also with fully Panasonic automation machines. So this is our commitment of our quality policy. We are committed to serve our customer with best quality and total customer satisfaction. With that, I end my sharing session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Soon. You must have seen in his presentation he's been talking about a company called Perodua. It is a company like Maruti, how we have Maruti in India. That's the #1 car manufacturing company based out of Malaysia. They were there last year in Chennai. So they have I was told they have a huge market share in Malaysia, like how Maruti does have here. We've had 2 auto component manufacturers talking about what they can offer and what you can look at. Now we have the EXIM Bank of Malaysia to make a presentation on what are the opportunities the EXIM Bank provide to Indian exporters or Indian manufacturers looking at Malaysia. We have Mr. Marazizi Bindamar, who's a Chief Business Officer. Please, sir.
Namaste. Malay Vanakkam. Good afternoon. Mr. Mahesh Desai, Mr. Vinod, my fellow speakers, the Engineering Export Promotion Council India and IESS thank you for giving us the opportunity to share some information with regard to our businesses, as well as some financing or promotion, financing or funding activities that we can collaborate or support with regard to the bilateral businesses between two nations. Can I start? How do I start? Still.
Yeah, I'm also searching. Yeah.
While we're fixing up the slides presentation, maybe I can just share a bit with regard to the information on both countries. For Malaysia, we have ranked 12 of by World Bank of ease of doing business out of 190 companies or countries taken into account by World Bank. 12. Based on our record, well, slightly different from what Mr. Mahesh has shared just now. We reported about export to India about 9.1 billion last year, US dollar, and import about 5.8 billion from India. Most of the mainly products are vegetable and palm oil, as well as from India, mineral oil. I guess this is the opportunity for us to explore further with regard to the engineering components to do a bilateral trade between two countries. Malaysia is ranked 25th largest trading partner by India. India is top 10 trading partners for Malaysia. That's how the statistics is. So that's how close we are in terms of by two nations in terms of our trading relationship. Okay, probably I can start. Okay, let me just share with you about what is EXIM Bank, Export and Import Bank of Malaysia. We are the one of the 6 development financial institutions created by the government to support the businesses. For EXIM, is mostly for export and overseas business ventures. The rest of this bank, they have their own purpose, like agriculture bank, agro bank, the development bank. The number 3 is Bank Pembangunan, and the rest. So for import and export and overseas ventures, EXIM Bank Malaysia play that role. Like I said just now, if you see from the below some of the agencies under the Ministry of International Trade, MARI is the co-sponsor for this event, is one of our co-agencies under the Ministry of International Trade. MIDA is here. They have a booth there. Maybe we can, later on, maybe you can just drop by to have understanding what MIDA is doing, especially with regard to the investment in Malaysia under this MIDA, Malaysian Investment Development Authority. They facilitate, they work closely with us, together with MARI as well as the MATRADE, Malaysian Trade Export Agencies, in promoting both sides of trade, whether it is Malaysian exports or activities coming over to Malaysia under this FDI or foreign direct investment. With regard to our coverage of countries, we have about 119 countries across the globe, 5 continents. We have offices only in Malaysia, our HQ in Kuala Lumpur, but we have a representative office in Penang, Johor Bahru, and Kuching. These are 3 other major cities in Malaysia, for those who are not really familiar with Malaysia. Okay. Rated wise, as far as Moody, Fitch, and RAM, we are, that's the rating, we are A3. Pretty much similar to the country. Malaysia is also rated A3, the sovereign risk rating by Moody's. These are many agencies that work closely with us. The government agencies work closely with us. We are doing business in Malaysia. These are the agencies that you can or we can facilitate in terms of making your businesses, ventures, investment being facilitated. For example, like MIGHT, the top one, this is another agencies that formed by the government introducing for technology, automation and robotics. This is another agencies that complement what MARI or Malaysian Automotive Research Institute is doing. FMM is Federal Malaysian of Manufacturers. They have agencies, I think they have about 3,500 members. All are manufacturers based in Malaysia, Malaysian companies who are being supported in terms of networking, trainings, and a lot of other infrastructures. They work closely with us, the government agencies, to support manufacturers. Now, with regard to the manufacturers in Malaysia, we also support what we call is non-resident control companies or multinational corporations. These are also element of entities of manufacturers that are supported by these agencies. If you are doing some development, we also have the CIDB, the Construction Development Board, that is supervising or facilitating with regard to construction and infrastructure development. For SME, like here, I think from yesterday until today, I heard a lot when I go around on these exhibition booths. I learned a lot about how the government is trying to support what you call here MSME, the micro, small, medium enterprises, which is the similar thing that we are doing also in Malaysia. In Malaysia, roughly we have maybe about now 8 million companies. And 70% of these companies are SMEs. So we have agency what we call SME Corp, Small and Medium Enterprise Corporation, SME Corp, the agency that is facilitating support and give all this support towards SMEs in terms of them doing the businesses, getting them understanding the regulation and rules and what else when doing their business. And in fact, this agency also supporting them in giving them some ratings, some assessment, whether they go to ISO or not, so that when they move up scale, they have this level of standards and recognition, not only domestically in Malaysia, it is as well as to be recognized internationally. This just now Mr. Mahesh was asking me about how our relationship with Indonesia. So for EXIM Bank or Export-Import Bank, most countries has export and import bank. The only thing is we are not in any way connected by entity, we are connected by affiliations. So for EXIM Bank Malaysia, we are very closely related with EXIM Bank Thailand, Korea and Indonesia. But as far as the association, what we call export credit agency in the world, EXIM Bank India is one of the key players of these ECA agencies for the ASEAN and East Asia areas. But we want to have more relationship with EXIM Bank India, so that we can facilitate the trade of both countries, just like what we are right now having with EXIM Bank in Indonesia and EXIM Bank Thailand, as well as EXIM Bank South Korea. Okay, some areas that I want to share with regard to our EXIM Bank Malaysia's mandate, our function. One is with regard to the government mandate. Just now I mentioned about how we should develop or support SMEs and businesses. That is one, what the government wants us to do, for us to support the export ready companies for Malaysian, as well as for Malaysian companies who are having businesses overseas, for example doing in India, or also having a joint venture relationship with foreign companies in doing businesses in Malaysia, and ultimately those products or those activities are being exported out export out to the internationally. Right? Now, I would like to attract your attention on the last para here. What we do is we facilitate the companies incorporated locally as well as internationally in doing business cross-border. What I'm attracted, because I think what we need to understand is that for Malaysian EXIM, we finance those exporters going out or exporting their products outside. Also, Malaysian doing business overseas. Just to share, our financing for project in India right now is roughly about, our experience is about, I think, 75, about 100 million US dollars. Not much, considering the size of the country of India. It's not much. I think we have less than 5 projects or ventures that we have done over the last 10 years that Malaysian companies doing in India. What I think that we can suggest also, looking at how this event is going on, is to promote also Indian companies coming over to Malaysia, having a joint venture arrangement with local company in Malaysia, so that we can have an FDI coming to Malaysia, as well as EXIM Bank to finance, partly finance these ventures together with Malaysian companies. Maybe these are another areas that you all can explore. How can you do this arrangement to do an investment or project or plant or manufacturing with your technology, with your know-how, as well as your overseas market, to have an investment in Malaysia. Then we, people like EXIM or MIDA, can assist in terms of facilitating your investment and your projects. We also finance certain projects where ultimately it is owned by the country. For example, we have done a project in, later on I show some of these examples of the project that we have financed and completed or in progress. Some countries that they are doing infrastructure project overseas, in certain countries, for example in Sudan, water treatment projects being carried out the project by the Malaysian companies, Malaysian contractors, but ultimately is the loan, or that loan or borrowing is on that country. We have done that, what we call it as a buyer's credit. So this is another areas I think you all can explore, can do a joint venture arrangement with the Malaysian companies who are doing this kind of project, and you facilitating with your product, your components, and your engineering technology. Yeah, we have done in Sudan. We have done kind of that in Thailand, in Laos, hydropower projects. There's quite a number of things that we can do in this collaboration. Now, with regard to EXIM Malaysia, these are the areas, the key 3 main areas that we support. First of all, on the banking and financing side, we do cross-border financing facility, export-import trade facilities, project and development facilities. Project financing then can be ranged within 5 to 7 years financing. We also provide guarantees, for example, like bank guarantees, performance bonds, and advising facilities. For example, like if you have an inward LC that we need to, you can advise on the genuineness of the LC. We do that. We have, of course, banking operation facility that we can facilitate, as well as forex, foreign exchange, and treasury facilities. This is the pretty much of the banking and financing function that we have. The other one on the right side, trade credit protections. EXIM also provide trade credit insurance to facilitate, or rather protect your invoices or your receivables up to 90% of cover. In case of your buyers are not paying, then this insurance can cover. Number 2, we also have the insurance for what we call political risk insurance. We take this insurance to protect anything happen with regard to the country that you are investing in, a sovereign risk, or war or any political uncertainties happen that cause that investment or that project cannot be paid. This is what we call it PRI. And the top one, business or rather banking advisories. We do this a lot in terms of providing assistance towards advisories, whether it's economic outlook, technical assessment, or legal pitfalls. These are we are also providing, and as well as for collaboration and matchings. We try, this is not really our core, but in developmental role that we are playing, we try to facilitate the matching or business networking throughout the businesses from Malaysia as well as overseas. Yeah. Again, the type of financing that we can do in terms of capital expenditure with regard to whether to development or construction of plant or machineries financing. Yeah. Number two, working capital, whether it's for financing your overheads as well as your raw material and trade financing. And the third one, again, on the insurance to protect the trade as well as for uncertainties of due to political or uncertainties condition of a country. Yeah. The entire part of our offerings. What I want to attract your attention is another area that we can also assist with together with MIDA. Just now I mentioned Madrid is on the G2G diplomatic support. This we can also support you, because not only just between us and our sister agencies. We can also have you. We do with collaboration with other EXIM Bank as well as other development bank. We are close relationship with Islamic Development Bank, Asian Development Bank, and World Development Bank. So all these development, there are also situations where we co-finance project together with them under kind of we call it club deal or collaboration or syndication. Yeah. Okay. Another one, maybe I can attract attention on the merger and acquisition. We also do financing on equity. Equity financing, that means your investment into a certain project or certain entity or a company. We also do that financing on what we call it equity financing. So that that portion of equity can be funded, substantial portion by the promoter or the owner, and the rest is being financed by the bank. Yeah. These are pretty much the spread of our presence, whether in terms of the project or contract as well as in terms of destinations of our export of Malaysian companies all over the world. It's more than 100 countries. Sorry. This is my team. We have about 30 people on the banking side to facilitate all our financing advisory activities. Yeah. Now let me share with you some of this is our client. Some names maybe I'm not so sure you are familiar, but they are quite notable now as far as in the stage of Malaysian corporate context. Some Malaysian airports we are also been financing them, some of their overseas projects. These are some of the projects that we have financed over the years. Laos, hydropower, I mentioned just now. Aceh in Indonesia. Residential apartment project in Australia. Resort in Bali. University's campus in Vietnam. Roadworks in Eswatini or Swaziland. FSO during for oil and gas in Middle East, Tanzania, locomotive. I guess you know rail projects are very prominent in India. Yeah. So we also in Malaysia have few companies now quite prominent in terms of doing these activities, whether doing rolling stock or rail works, both in India and now in Africa. Thailand, we also finance some countries that are known to us or underserved: Kazakhstan, UK, Cambodia, Bosnia, Australia, Uzbekistan, Sudan. This is the project that I mentioned just now, a water treatment project in Sudan. Another campus in Singapore, and a glove factory in Malaysia. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you, Mr. Marazizi. Any questions? Any questions for Delloyd? Any questions for Betamek?
Sir, that EXIM Bank, excuse me. Yeah, you are talking about Indian investment in Malaysia, and what is the percentage of share you will take on that joint venture with Malaysian company?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can before that, can I have your name, sir?
Yes, I am Hari Bhaskaran.
Yes.
I wanted to know, you said that you will be interested in investing in Malaysia as a joint venture company, and what is the share you will take it actually on?
Okay.
What is the percentage of investment you will bring in that company?
Okay. As far as a direct percentage, we have never put in anything. We quite open in that sense. It can be as low as 10%, as high as 90%. But as far as not only just the quantitative that we are looking at, we are also looking at the qualitative of it. For EXIM Bank, we also want to see our measurement when we support the investment to Malaysia. Number one is this venture that you are coming in to Malaysia doing the business must be, after that, be able to be exported out internationally. Number one. Number two, is there any technology transfer benefit for both entity? Whether if you are investing to Malaysia, we expect the technology is, there's a technology transfer, professional development in terms of the employees, yeah. And a third one is in terms of course, as a country, we are also looking for the tax income to benefit. So I do not have an answer in terms of the percentage, but we can access accordingly when the investment.
But what is more important is here, the quality is right. But what I'm asking is a policy level, whether we will be doing only 10% or 15% or 20%, or whether you can even bring in 75% of the investment. So that policy you will have, a policy framework. I'm asking about the policy.
But
Not on the quantum will be decided on the case-to-case basis. We agreed, appreciate. But what is the policy?
I don't have a policy as far as EXIM. I'm not talking about the country.
Yeah, no, we are talking only about you.
EXIM.
Yeah.
EXIM do not have a policy stating a percentage, how much a percentage of investment to be done. We do not have.
Then I can take it granted that if I bring in 10% of the project cost, you will be investing 90% also.
Of course.
Yeah.
But
if the valuation after,
Yeah.
according to, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Acha, my question also for EXIM, sir, and for everybody in the dignitaries. I am from Chennai. See, we are manufacturers of Teflon and PTE items. See, we are interested in entering to the Malaysia. We have a base in Tamil Nadu. Okay, the gentleman sitting in front of me is the director of the company. who has got a problem in conveying the things in language. Only language is the problem. Otherwise, we are comfortable. So I would request the EXIM also to be a for trading also we are interested, or for the rather to the manufacturer also we can supply of any items to any drawing to spec. The spec is given, we can meet your requirement and we can meet any of your challenges.
That is dealt by another organization called Martrade. They are a specialist in dealing with trade related queries pertaining to Indian companies and the Malaysian companies. EXIM Bank's role is completely different to what you are trying to raise here. There is an organization called Martrade. That will be the better organization to approach to.
Anyway, this is my appeal, sir. Take me to the right position. That's all my appeal. This is my appeal. Thank you.
Sure. Later, give me your card. That I will share with them your information. Later. After.
Later.
Sir. Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else who want to have a one-on-one meeting with Delloyd and Betamek? Usually for the global sourcing meets, we do it here. We create a setup and we do the meetings. I would prefer to have it in their booth because they're not very far off, hardly say 10-15 meters from here. You can have an exclusive meeting in their booths, and let's not trouble having a meeting here. I think that would be more private and appropriate. I would now request our Senior Vice Chairman to kindly give a few mementos. I would request Mr. Mahesh Desai, the Senior Vice Chairman, to give the memento to Mr. Marazizi, the Chief Business Officer of EXIM Bank.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends, good evening to you all. It's my honor to present a vote of thanks to our distinguished guest and the participants at this conclave. I must mention our deep sense of gratitude for the opening remarks made by our dignitaries in the dais. I must also mention our deep sense of appreciation to Delloyd Industries, Betamek Electronics, EXIM Bank of Malaysia, EXIM Bank of Malaysia, where we saw some healthy interaction. I do hope that discussion imparted needful information and it will be continued in their booth. With these words, I may propose a hearty vote of thanks to our distinguished guests by the audience and all our speakers for the most of the enlightenment season today, and request you to carry the acclamation. Thank you all.